Thank you, Dan, and a very good evening to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2. Jeff Eltringham just leading out the two teams from the tunnel just down beneath us as we sit in the West Stand, the core stand here at the John Smith Stadium, as lots of championship clubs head into a run of 4 games in 11 or 12 days. Well, we can top that across the TalkSport network. 21 live commentaries between now and the end of Easter Monday, right across the tournaments. Premier League, FA Cup, Women's FA Cup, also the vital run-in in the EFL, commentaries from the Championship and League One to come. And tonight it's all about 4th versus 5th here in West Yorkshire. Huddersfield Town and Luton Town were nowhere near the bookies' fancies when the season began back in August, but here they are mixing it at the top of the Championship table, and a winner here tonight goes 3rd, just above Nottingham Forest, maybe still with the slightest outside sniff of automatic promotion should Bournemouth or Fulham stutter further in the run-in. 4 changes for Huddersfield Town from their 1-0 win at Hull City that we brought you on TalkSport 2 a week last Friday. Good news for Carlos Corberán that Jonathan Hogg and Danny Ward are able to play. Ward missed out through illness at the MKM, Hogg through injury. Pippa and Sinani are also recalled. Out go Cormac, Rhodes, Holmes and Turton. So Lee Nichols is the goalkeeper. Pippa, Tom Lees, Levi Colwill and Harry Toffolo are your back 4. I am enjoying fighting with this PA announcer, by the way. It's great fun. Jonathan Russell, Jonathan Hogg and Lewis O'Brien are the midfield 3. Sorba Thomas, Danny Ward and Daniel Sinani are up front. As for Luton Town, they make 3 changes from their 1-1 draw at Peterborough. A return from injury to full fitness for Sonny Bradley. He displaces Peter Kioso to the bench. Henry Lansbury comes in for Danny Hilton, and Harry Cornick replaces the injured Cameron Jerome. So it's James Shea in goal for the Hatters, James Bree, Sonny Bradley, Cal Naismith as 3 centre-halves, Fred Onyedinma and Amari Bell as the wing-backs right and left, Alan Campbell, Henry Lansbury and Pelly Roda-Campanzu the 3 across midfield, Harry Cornick and Elijah Adebayo up front. On the bench for Huddersfield, Blackman, Rhodes, Corrimer, Holmes, Turton, Sarr and Aiting. For Luton, their subs, Isted, Potts, Berry, Hilton, Snodgrass, Kioso and Musquet. And all players applaud as the banner comes up. Football stands together for Ukraine. The yellow and blue banner to our right on the Jumbotron. In the away end, the Magic Rock Brewing stand away to our right. And everyone around us here showing their appreciation for those in Ukraine. And we're underway on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield in their traditional blue and white striped shirts with white shorts and black socks, attacking the Magic Rock Brewing stand away to our right. Luton in their first choice colours of the tangerine shirts, dark shorts and tangerine socks, and straight away Sorba Thomas is breaking down the left hand side, cutting in to get past James Breen into the area, holds the ball up, little back heel, Toffolo tries to cross and is blocked by Onyedinma on that far side, and straight away the intent from Huddersfield Town coming forward. Sinani will whip the ball in from the left hand side. It's a poor touch from Pelly Roda-Campanzu, but he's bailed out by James Bree, who volleys it up towards halfway, but Adebayo won't win the header for Luton Town, and Huddersfield wants a free kick which isn't given, and Luton can finally calm things down with a throw. But that was a very energetic start, Sherry Taggart, from Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, lovely little bit of interplay, wasn't it, between O'Brien and Thomas to get him away down that left hand side, but a very patient build up from the back, and then everything happened so quickly within a couple of seconds. Thomas was away, nearly caused problems for Luton.
Yeah, Thomas playing on the left of the 3 up front, Sinani on the right. Luton trying to get hold of the ball for the first time tonight. Adebayo helps the ball on towards the edge of the area, but it's volleyed clear by Tom Lees, and then sent down the left hand side, looking for Sorba Thomas to give chase. He's going to give James Bree plenty to think about, it would seem, tonight, down that inside left channel for Huddersfield, and he's won a throw on the far side for Huddersfield left, in front of the Chadwick Lawrence stand opposite us in this stadium that's getting on for 30 years old now, the John Smith Stadium. Now Sinani on this near side, the right hand side, rolls the ball back to the halfway line, and it's given back to him, and he can make some advancement down this right hand side. He's got help from Pippa, who's pushed forward. Sinani again, just lays the ball off to Jonathan Russell, who tucks the ball in field. And he got it back there from Tom Lees, who pushed forward for a moment. Now Levi Colwill, the youngster on loan from Chelsea. All turned in field for Jonathan Russell, tall, rangy looking midfielder. He's only 21 years of age, but he looks considerably older than that. Now Pippa pushing in field. We're in the 3rd minute on TalkSport 2. O'Brien helps the ball up to the edge of the area. A chance for Sinani maybe to turn. It won't break for him. And Luton tidy up, but they've barely got the ball out their own half, Luton Town, Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, it's deliberate, very deliberate, the build-up play from Huddersfield, making the pitch as wide as possible. And Luton at the minute just struggling to keep pace with Huddersfield. O'Brien already just looks full of confidence when he's on the ball, just pulling all the strings in the middle of that part.
Chance for Luton just to calm things down for a moment. 0-0 on TalkSport 2 for this Monday night championship kick-off. 4th against 5th. Winners go 3rd in the table tonight, ahead of all the Easter fun and frolics that we're about to bring you across the TalkSport network. 4 championship commentaries from noon until late evening on Good Friday, for example. Details on that coming up. Meantime, it's Fred Onyedinma playing in this right wing-back role for Nathan Jones at the moment. The ball's played in field, but it's cleared away by Jonathan Hogg up to halfway, but Onyedinma tidies up and gets the ball back via Sonny Bradley to James Shea. 6 clean sheets in 16 appearances. Came in mid-season. Injuries to the likes of Simon Sluga. And players like Alex Palmer, who came in on an emergency loan from West Bromwich Albion. Goalkeeper's been one particular problem area for Luton Town this season. Throw into them on the far side. 4 minutes gone, 0-0. Onyedinma, midway point of the Huddersfield half, tries to help it down the right-hand side, but Huddersfield get it clear. O'Brien shows good turn of pace and finds Danny Ward just shy of halfway. Immediately sends it that left for Sorba Thomas. Volume rises as Thomas finds O'Brien at the edge of the area, chips the ball over the bar, tried to get his left foot wrapped round it, and he just got underneath it a little too much. It's over the bar for a Luton Town goal kick, but Huddersfield Town's intent is there for all to see. 0-0.
Yeah, again, Thomas down that left-hand side, causing all kinds of problems for Bree. Just not able to keep up with him. And this time it's a square ball across the 18-yard box where O'Brien comes on there. And I'm just thinking, does that ball just pop up in the air? Does it just, pop up in the air when he's about to take the shot, and that's why you see it go over the bar? But again, really good fluid football from Huddersfield Town.
Volley cleared by Tom Lees. 5 minutes gone on TalkSport 2 at the John Smiths as the light rain intensifies for a moment here in West Yorkshire. Skies darkening by the second, and the floodlights have been in full effect for some time here at the John Smiths. Luton in possession with Onyedinma on the far side. The Luton right, they're attacking the fantastic media stand away to our left-hand side. A diagonal ball from Bree, looking to pick out Amari Bell, the left wing-back. Adebayo brings the ball down neatly, running towards the left-hand corner of the box, going on the outside of Lees. Well, Pippa just got across him, and he could have gone down there, Adebayo, stayed on his feet, the ball trickled away from him, and out for a goal kick to Huddersfield, 0-0.
Yeah, he was unlucky there, wasn't he? It was a difficult ball in the first place to try and control. I think it was from Amari Bell's header down into him. It's come off his knees, but he's done well to control it. And he thought, you know what, I've got no options, I'm just going to have a go. Down the left-hand side, just ran out of pitch really, but a good effort.
That's Jerry Taggart, you can hear alongside me. Ian Danter here of the John Smith. Jerry, former Leicester and Northern Ireland centre-half. We're here in the Championship. Now the rain really starting to come down like stair rods here at the John Smith. 6 minutes gone, 0-0. Barely a breath of wind though tonight, so he's coming straight down onto the playing surface. It's Harry Toffolo who scored the winner at Hull City in the TalkSport commentary we brought you a week last Friday. Gets the ball back into his own half. Tom Lees, who swapped the blue and white stripes of Sheffield Wednesday for Huddersfield, finds Pippa, who scampers forward. The number 2 just runs into the challenge of Cal Naismith, but it's picked up by Sinani. Finds O'Brien, just lays it off to Jonathan Hogg. Hogg looks for Sinani once more, went to ground under pressure, And it was good pressure from Alan Campbell, but Huddersfield have won the ball back. Pippa again on this near side, just in front of Carlos Corberán. Almost played Tom Lees into trouble with a pass into his own half, but Adebayo just couldn't reach it, and it's guided back to Lee Nichols.
Yeah, I think just the surface, the wetness on the surface just helping get out a bit of a trouble there, Pippa.
Well, they're looking to get Sorba Thomas in behind on the left-hand side, on the far side from us, but the flag goes up to say that the Welshman is offside. And it's 0-0, 7.5 minutes gone on your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2, and both managers getting the soaking. Nathan Jones is thinking about pulling the hood up on his coat. He's thinking, no, I'm not doing that. I'm keeping it down. I'm going to let my hair get all greasy wet, because it really is throwing it down here at the John Smith. Throw into Luton. They go back into their own half for the fit again Sonny Bradley, and he squares it for Bree, who's more of a orthodox right back really, but doing a job at centre half for Nathan Jones, and he's keeping the likes of Kioso and Potts out the side, so not doing too badly. Now Cornick down the right hand channel, looking to make space for a run, but it's well tidied up by Levi Colwill, and O'Brien midway point of his own half, tried a bit of trickery, almost had the ball taken off his toe by Campbell for Luton. Then it's rolled up to halfway, turned round the corner looking to get Thomas into the game, but Luton win it back, and it's back with their keeper. 0-0 on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, every time where the ball goes in the board, you see that Thomas trying to make that run in behind. Tsunami on the other side, he's more wanting it to fight, wants to come inside, wants to link the play. Maybe like to see him get turned and run Amari Bell into that corner a little bit more.
Ward in the centre circle, tries to head it down for a teammate, but it came off the top of his head and bounced more kindly for Alan Campbell, former Motherwell player, who's been a very important cog in the Luton midfield machine. At least Luke Berry is back fit again. He's had a few minutes in recent weeks after a long spell out the side. He's on the bench tonight as well for the Hatters if required. And Luton playing it around at the back once more with Cal Naismith. Just squares it right for Bradley, gets his head up, thinks about a diagonal ball, but then flicks it to his right for James Bree, just inside his own half on the far side of the field. Closed down by Thomas, so he's got to go back in field for Bradley once again. Very patient Luton at the back, and they're not being pressed until they get to around about the halfway line, Jerry.
Yeah, that's right. It's almost as if the Huddersfield Giants have drawn the press lines in for them already.
Yeah.
With a way to rugby. But yeah, you're spot on. They're just allowing the three centre halves to have it, and they're just drawing a line in the sand and saying, right, you come across here, we're going to put a bit of pressure on you.
Yeah, this is the home of the Huddersfield Giants Super League team, as well as Jerry Taggart rightly points out. Built in 1994, this stadium. Won an architectural award the year after. Very well known, of course, this stadium for the arched stands all around us, including the west stand that we're sat in. And we look out as Cal Naismith comes forward to the middle of the half. It's now Pele Rudder-Kampanzu finding Lansbury trying to short his feet out of the edge of the area, but it allowed Colwill to get it half clear, but Luton win it back. On their far side, the right, it's with Fred Onyedinma, the former Millwall man. Lays it off to Bree. First time cross from Bree, headed out by Hogg, helped out by O'Brien, but straight to the chest of Rudder-Kampanzu, flicked back into the area by Luton, but it won't find Adebayo. And for the first time, Huddersfield look a little nervy at the back, 0-0.
Yeah, again, when they picked that ball up in midfield and it came to Pele Ruddock, there was no pressure on the ball from O'Brien or from Russell, and that enabled them almost to get through when they were on the edge of the box. But in the end, the pressure from Huddersfield in the end is just enough to get the ball clear, but it was good play from Luton just to keep recycling that ball, mainly on that right-hand side.
0-0 on TalkSport 2, 11 minutes gone at the John Smith Stadium. Luton in possession again, just shy of the halfway line, and again Huddersfield are waiting for them to get near to the halfway line. As TalkSport listeners join us on this Monday evening in West Yorkshire, 11 minutes gone between 4th and 5th. Huddersfield 0, Luton 0. Jerry Taggart is alongside me, and so far, Jerry, neither goalkeeper's been tested, but Huddersfield looked threatening early on.
Yeah, Huddersfield, you've got to say, have had the better of the opening exchanges. Luton just starting to come back into it now, almost causing Huddersfield a few problems just a minute ago. But again, the style of football, both teams are trying to get it down, they're trying to play. This is more akin to something you see in the Premier League, to be honest with you. So compliment both managers on the style of football.
Yeah, Huddersfield looking for Sorba Thomas down their left-hand side as often as they can, whilst Cal Naismith is looking to release Fred Onyedinma down the right-hand side, but the talented Lewis O'Brien brings it down and tries to get Thomas away, and he's rolled the challenge from one Luton defender, but across came Cal Naismith to tidy up. That's a tactic that Huddersfield are going to clearly use time and again tonight. You can continue to listen to this commentary via the TalkSport app. Download it and you can swipe to TalkSport 2, or there's DAB+, there's your smart speaker, or your laptop, where you can log on to TalkSport 2 and listen to the rest of this crucial game from the Championship. 12 and a half minutes gone. It's Huddersfield Town 0, Luton Town 0. And Cal Naismith goes back to Sonny Bradley. Hits a first-time left-footed ball, but nobody had initially made that run down the left-hand side. But Adebayo suddenly springs up on that near side, forces Pippa and Lees to deal with it. Now Jonathan Russell turns into Lansbury, and Cornick wins it back, and he's drifted down the left-hand side of the box. Tries to pull it back for Adebayo, but Huddersfield clear their lines, and a neat touch from Sinani buys Pippa a bit of space, but he's just been held up. Oh, that's a neat ball in field from Pippa for Hogg, but his ball intended for Sinani on halfway is overhit, and the ball drifts out of play for a throw-in. But just for a moment there, Cornick stole the ball and was darting down the left-hand side of the Huddersfield box at 0-0.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Hogg just using all his experience. You could just see out of the corner of his eye, Cornick was the big 11, Adebayo. And Jonathan Hogg knew that was the only ball he could play, and he just stepped in, read the situation brilliantly, and almost got Huddersfield on the counter-attack there.
That's why Jonathan Hogg is such an important player. He won Player of the Year last year in his 8th season at the club. Jonathan Hogg, former Watford man. Offside against Adebayo gives Huddersfield Town a free kick just to the left of the centre circle inside their own half. Huddersfield, remember, was 17 championship games unbeaten before losing back-to-back matches in March, but they've still kept their place in the top 6. And as you mentioned at the top of the show, Jerry, both Huddersfield and Luton will be delighted at those below them that failed to pick up points on Saturday.
Yeah, it's kept the pressure off them somewhat. Imagine if all those teams had won. Then the pressure is right on you going into this game. The league table would have looked a hell of a lot different than it does tonight before this game started.
Approaching the quarter-hour mark on TalkSport 2. 0-0 between Huddersfield Town and Luton Town. Lee Nichols, the Huddersfield keeper, drives the ball into the centre circle. Danny Ward trying to chest it down for a teammate on the left-hand side, but it was intercepted by Fred Onyedinma. Spins away from Ward, plays the ball into the centre circle. Lovely touch from Lansbury. Rodican Panto looks for Adebayo, who's looking to take on Tom Lees at the edge of the area, but there's Hogg again, who's then probably giving it away to Campbell. Amari Bell tries the first time cross, and he's hit it too hard. It goes straight out on the full for a goal kick to Huddersfield Town. But once again, Jerry Taggart, you were showing your hand to Jonathan Hogg and his importance in snuffing out that Luton attack.
It's a great recovery run. I thought Tom Lees had an opportunity when Adebayo first controlled the ball on the edge of the box. He turned that challenge down. Adebayo says, I'm going to go one-on-one, 1v1 at you, and Jonathan Hogg just runs round, recovery run, round the back of Tom Lees, and says, no, you're not, son. Takes the ball off him again. Fantastic defensive work from Jonathan Hogg.
Now, Amari Bell joined on a free transfer after his Blackburn contract expired. They're going to go on the outside of Pippa, and actually tries to go inside for a moment. Pirouettes, gets to the byline, drives it into the near post, but that's a good claim from Lee Nichols at his near post, and Nathan Jones not too impressed with the cross from his left wing back. 0-0.
Well, if I was Nathan Jones, I'd be screaming at Harry Cornick to get across that near post. You know that Amari Bell's options are very few and far between, because he's having to dig the ball out on the byline and get some sort of accuracy. He can only get it to the near post. And as a centre forward, you've got to read that situation and get yourself across the near post and try and get a contact on it.
That's Jerry Taggart, you can hear alongside me, former Leicester defender. Leicester, one of the teams we'll be featuring later in the week. PSV against Leicester City in the Europa League. Thursday, tea time, 5:30 here on TalkSport 2. Fancy your chances in Eindhoven, Jerry?
Well, if rain's anything to go by, this was a really tough game, but we needed to score and we scored.
Yeah.
So It's going to be a tight one, Dance. There's no doubt about it. Looking forward to it, though.
3 Europa League matches on Thursday night. PSV, Leicester, I just mentioned, and then Lyon, West Ham on TalkSport, and Rangers against Braga on TalkSport 2. Those two games kick off at 8 o'clock. That's just some of the football we've got coming up for you across the network, including Champions League and League One action tomorrow night. We've got Real Madrid against Chelsea on TalkSport. Whilst here on TalkSport 2, I'm going to be down at Fratton Park with David Connolly. Portsmouth against Rotherham, who lost at the weekend to Charlton and need to keep pace with Wigan and Milton Keynes at the top of League One in the race for automatic promotion. 17 gone here at the John Smiths, 0-0, and Luton have won a free kick just shy of the halfway line for a foul on Anya Dinma, and the ball's worked back for Sonny Bradley. Plays the ball into the feet of Henry Lansbury. Square forward Pelly Rudder-Kampantu. Thought about a long ball downfield, but just chips it out to this near side for Naismith. Takes it on his chest, but he couldn't take it downfield. He was being pressurised by Daniel Sinani. Now there's a higher press from Huddersfield, forcing the goalkeeper James Shea just to hit the ball straight down the middle of the pitch. Lees will deal with it and hook it out to this near side, where it's brilliantly controlled by Pippa. Took it out the sky as it dropped over his shoulder, Jerry. That was beautifully done.
Well, he's got Tom Lees out of jail there a little bit. I thought Tom Lees should have come and met that ball. He's let it bounce, put himself under a bit of pressure. He's hooked it over his head, and Pippa, with a sublime piece of skill to pull it out of the sky and just settle the nerves a little bit.
Now, Jonathan Russell, diving the ball, trying to pick out Sinani. Went over, Sinani's headed out for a throw on this near side. A few calls for a free kick, feeling that Russell was caught late by a Luton player as he hit the pass. You're listening to Huddersfield 0, Luton 0 in the EFL Championship, live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Some defending to do for Tom Lees at the back for Huddersfield, but he deals with an aerial ball well. He can try and pass the ball in field. Jonathan Russell just keeps the ball away from Alan Campbell, and now Lewis O'Brien, this lively young central midfielder for Huddersfield, gets over the halfway line. He's making Pelly Rudder-Kampantu backpedal. Sorba Thomas takes over, cuts in from the left-hand side, finds Jonathan Russell, urged to shoot from 30 yards out. He does shoot, but it sails over the crossbar, and James Shea always knew that was rising over and into the seats behind the goal. Goal kick, 19 gone on TalkSport 2, 0-0 it stays.
Yeah, decent effort from Russell, and well worth one. But again, it's O'Brien, so calm in possession, doesn't panic, doesn't try and force the ball out to that left-hand side again to Sorba Thomas, just picks the right pass, waits for support to get up with him, and lays it off to Russell. And in all fairness to Russell, it's well worth a shot. He's got no other options on. Luton are back in numbers, just doesn't execute it that well.
Volley downfield by Naismith for Luton. A bit of scrappy play on halfway, but Jonathan Russell comes out with it. And now Pippa forced back by Amari Bell. Oh, Nathan Jones is jumping up and down, stamping on his technical area. We're really unhappy with, I don't know, the lack of pressing of Luton, or the lack of intensity in their work rate. I don't know what it is, Jerry. Can you put your finger on it?
I just think it's, yeah, exactly. It's too easy for Huddersfield to get out. Huddersfield have taken one or two chances that, you know, as a fan watching especially, you're thinking, oh dear, this could go wrong. And that's what Nathan Jones, they're not capitalising on them taking chances at the back at the moment.
Either way, he's not a happy bunny, no. Is Nathan Jones. 20 minutes gone on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. 4th against 5th at the start of the night, remember. Huddersfield and Luton in direct opposition. Pippa darting forward down this inside right channel for Huddersfield. Sinani plays a 1-2 with Russell. And now Hogg takes over just ahead of the centre circle. Options left and right, goes to his immediate left and Lewis O'Brien. Further out left it goes to Toffolo. Thomas has pushed infield and picks it up now. Gets his head up, sees what's around him, and plays it infield for Russell, who laid it off to Hogg. Hogg with a more forward pass to Pippa. Pippa flicks the ball into the area looking for Wall. It won't drop for him. Bradley and Naismith make a bit of a pig's ear of it initially, and then it's volleyed away by Bree and to the supporters on this near touchline for a throw to Huddersfield Town, 0-0.
Yeah, again, good patient build-up. A few of the Huddersfield Towns moaning and groaning there. But they've worked it well, Huddersfield. I'm not sure what Pippa's trying to do with that little flick over the top, but in saying that, Huddersfield struggling to clear the lines, and the pressure starting to tell on them a little bit.
Luton have got some defending to again here then from this throw for Pippa, looking for Danny Ward down the right hand side of the box. Good strength from Pelly Rodikampanzu, and then he's dispossessed by Danny Ward, dashing back. It's gone out to the left hand side now for Huddersfield, and Sorba Thomas checking in onto his right foot, plays the ball on the deck. Sinani turns and shoots, and it's pushed behind by Shea for the first corner kick of the game to Huddersfield Town, and that's the first shot on target as well. 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes out to the left again. Sorba Thomas chops back onto his right foot. As it goes into Sinani, I think it's Bradley, is it? Sonny Bradley, he slips. And that allows Sinani to get turned and get that left footed shot off at Shea's near post. So, again, let off the hook there, Luton, really.
So it's a corner kick, right-footed in trigger, right old love train for Huddersfield. 5 players in a line, they're now split as the corner's sent in, headed out strongly by Bradley, but it drifts out to this near side of the Huddersfield right, and Lewis O'Brien, who's ridden the challenge of Cornick, gets to the byline, clips the cross in, and is heading wide for a corner kick, was it? Or did it come off? It did indeed come off a Fred Onyedinma, I think, who headed it just the wrong side of the post for a second corner to Huddersfield Town. That was close.
Absolutely. Again, great defensive header from Bradley, but Huddersfield picked the second ball up, and it's O'Brien with a lovely bit of skill down the right-hand side. He clips it, right-footed, middle of the goal, and as you say, Onyedinma, he attacks the ball, but he's facing his own goal, Dance. It's almost an own goal.
Sinani with a left-footed in-swinging corner away to our right for Huddersfield, right into the crossbar, headed away brilliantly by Bradley. Thomas volleys it back in, deflected. Oh, what a save by James Shea. The ball just bobbled in front of him. He just had to stick his hands up as he was already on the deck and claim it. So elements of fortune, but that shot from Sorba Thomas took at least 2 deflections on its way through to him.
Yeah, again, great defensive header from Bradley yet again, but again Huddersfield picked the pieces up on the edge of the box. Thomas with a shot, couple of deflections, keeper's on the ground. He's already made his mind up where the ball's going, but when it doesn't get there, he's so lucky that it just bounces up and safely into his hands.
Stays 0-0 on TalkSport 2, but Huddersfield starting to ask more and more questions here at the John Smith Stadium. 24 minutes have gone on your home of the EFL. Shea, a little bit of pressure from Ward, manages to get the ball clear for Luton. Good flick on from Onyedinma, but Adebayo couldn't keep hold of the ball, but he was helped out by Levi Colwell, who also couldn't control it, and Luton Town have a throw which they've taken quickly. Played into the feet of Henry Lansbury, chips the ball up to the right hand corner of the box where Adebayo is offside. The flag goes up, and that'll be a free kick to Huddersfield Town. So tomorrow night across the network, Real Madrid against Chelsea in the Champions League. Can Chelsea do anything about that 3-1 scoreline that Real inflicted on them in the first leg? Portsmouth Rotherham is our live offering on TalkSport 2, and David Connolly will be alongside me at Fratton Park. Then on Wednesday, Atletico Madrid against Manchester City in the other Champions League game we bring you live this week. Then those 3 Europa League games I told you about on Thursday, and then goodness me, Friday from noon until 10 o'clock we've got Championship football all the way on TalkSport 2. Luton will be back with them at Kenilworth Road at lunchtime for their game against Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth against Middlesbrough is the 3 o'clock offering. I'll be at the Vitality for that one. We're back here for Huddersfield against Queen's Park Rangers at 5:30, and then Derby County against Fulham at Pride Park rounds off our Good Friday entertainment here on TalkSport 2 from the Championship. But we've got a long way to go in this game here at the John Smith Stadium. Not even half an hour gone, and it's 0-0, but Huddersfield have been warming to their task in recent minutes. But now away comes Harry Cornick for Luton Town, bursting down the inside left channel, but he can't get the better of Pippa, and then Russell sends a neat ball in field to Lewis O'Brien. He tries to play the ball over halfway for Thomas, but it was intercepted well that time by Onyedinma. Tidied up by Pelly Rodikampanzu, and James Bree takes over. Now Lansbury looks again for a long diagonal ball, seeking out Adebayo, who tries to flick the ball onto the edge of the area, but Tom Lees did well, put him off, and Liam Nichols can scamper out to the edge of his penalty area at the dead ball line and prevent a corner, and it stays 0-0 on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, he just didn't commit to that aerial challenge, did he, Adebayo? It was a decent ball, he's got to run it as well, but when it came to the crunch, Tom Lees has used his body well. but you just want Adebayo to go and absolutely have a right good leap at it, right good challenge for it. He doesn't. Huddersfield come away with it.
But then they give away a free kick, a high foot from Danny Ward caught Henry Lansbury. No yellow card from Jeff Eltringham. He was quite clearly indicating it was not an intentional high boot to hurt Henry Lansbury, but a free kick it is to Luton. And now Pelly Ruddick-Pantsu is getting some pretty detailed instructions from Nathan Jones on this near touchline. As the free kick's taken short to Amari Bell, rolled into the feet of Adebayo, trying to roll his defender at the edge of the area, parting his way down the left-hand side of the box, pulls it back, but Huddersfield will get it half clear, comes out to Bell, who'll pick it up now on the inside left channel, further out to this near touchline, and Pelly Ruddick-Pantsu. A couple of step-overs to try and get away from Pippa, placed into the centre of the half. Lansbury leaves it for Bradley. Now they're playing it from left to right, Luton. Bree goes up to Cornick, right-hand corner of the box. Onyedinma takes over, but he squares it back for Bradley. Nearly 28 minutes gone on TalkSport 2, 0-0. Here comes Cal Naismith down the left-hand side, whips a lovely ball in, hooked up in the air by Tom Lees. Pippa will head it clear, might drop for Naismith once more, or the bounce took it away from him, but then across comes Henry Lansbury to prevent a swift counter-attack from Huddersfield Town, and the Terriers have a throw in their right-back position. 0-0, here's Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, it's a little bit better, wasn't it, from Luton? A little bit calmer on the ball, a little bit more deliberate, working it from side to side, and it's Naismith probably just needed a little bit more height on that cross. The trouble Huddersfield have bodies inside the
Luton
box.
come again. Here's Alan Campbell getting to the edge of the D, wanted to take a shot, but Hogg was putting him off, rolls it into Adebayo inside the box, and that's good defending from Lees, and he gets it away and finds his teammate in Sinani, but Sinani, in flicking the ball in field looking for O'Brien, gave it straight to Lansbury. So Luton have it back. Both sides guilty of squandering possession in silly areas. 0-0 it stays. Approaching the half-hour mark on your home of the EFL. TalkSport 2. It's tense, this, isn't it, Jerry? Yeah. You can feel the tension, can't you? So much at stake.
Well, it's the momentum swinging, the ebbing and flowing at the minute, isn't it? You think one team's on top and then the other team coming back, say, giving away cheap possession at times, both sides, and causing themselves problems.
Huddersfield urging their players forward, the fans around us here in the John Smiths, as it's worked out to Harry Toffolo on the left-hand side. He leaves it for Sorba Thomas. Infield it goes to O'Brien, about 10 yards inside the Luton half of the field. They can't give the ball to Jonathan because he's doing his shoelaces up at the minute, so Colville looks for Toffolo once again on the left-hand side, just over the halfway line. Thomas tries to roll Onyedinma and wins a free kick as Onyedinma was holding him in the view of Jeff Eltringham. So a chance here for Huddersfield to swing a ball from that far side into the penalty area. 0-0.
Yeah, it's good play. I think it's Toffolo, is it? Up there, and good play. Just gets his body in the way, strong, and just draws the free kick from Bray, I think it is, and it's an easy one for the referee to give.
So Thomas is spotting the ball down. It's only a couple of yards in from the far left-hand touchline, with Huddersfield attacking the Magic Rock Brewing stand away to our right in this first half. Right-footed in-swing, a lovely delivery, headed out again by Bradley. He's getting his head to most things so far.
And this time the ball goes to a Luton player and not a Huddersfield player, so that's a little bit better for Luton.
Cornick trying to break towards halfway, but in the end Luton just have to send the ball back to come forward again. Down this inside left channel near to us with Cal Naismith. Plays a 1-2 with Bell. Naismith again will look for his captain Bradley. Faced up by Ward, so he's got to go back for his keeper, who's made the two important saves this evening. One whilst he was lying flat on his back and the ball just came to him from a deflected shot, and another from Sinani's turn and fierce shot from inside the box. It's 0-0. Half an hour gone, and another free kick goes Huddersfield's way for a push by Pelly Ruddick-Pantsu. Oh, he's just starting to move a little awkwardly there, Pelly Ruddick-Pantsu, and he's holding his hand up to the bench. Got himself injured a few weeks back as well. Nathan Jones is telling him go down to get some treatment, but he's struggling with his left foot, I think.
Yeah.
Jerry Taggart's got a problem there, and he's now gone to ground, and this won't please the locals, but the physios are now being urged on to come to tend to the man who, as you said earlier, Jerry Taggart, has been on probably the best journey of all these Luton players, having been there in the National League days when they finally clawed their way back into the EFL.
Yeah, well, he doesn't look happy, does he? He's gone in with that challenge. He's fallen awkwardly. He's obviously given away the free kick on O'Brien. And then I don't know if he's twisted something. It doesn't look like he's pulled something or a twinge. It's more like he's twisted an ankle or a knee or something like that. We'll just have to wait and see, but definitely not happy.
0-0 on TalkSport 2, so there'll be a couple of minutes to add on at the end of this first half. Incidentally, happy 137th birthday to Luton Town today, and they are planning big things for the future. In case you weren't aware, there are plans for a brand new stadium which have had to be altered a little bit post the COVID pandemic, but Power Court in the town centre of Luton is the site for a brand new purpose-built Luton Town Stadium, so they will eventually wave cheerio to Kenilworth Road, a place where I'm sure you've had many an appearance there, Jerry, down the years.
I have, and you know, an historic old ground, you have to say, but probably just about the time is right for pastures new, you'd have to say, Dance.
Well, Pelly Rudder-Campanthu is now being helped off by a combination of the Luton physio and Elijah Adebayo, and it's his left foot because he can't put any weight on it. He's hobbling off on his right foot, and they're actually going to carry him off at this point because he's not in a good way.
No.
And he got injured in the last game I saw him play when Luton surrendered by 2 goals to 1 at home to QPR about a month ago.
Be interesting to see what it actually is, because when you watch it on the replay of the challenge, he comes over the top, he's behind Lewis O'Brien, comes in from behind, and they just sort of, the pair of them bundle over on the ground, and Panzu just goes over the top of his knees, over O'Brien's knees, and it doesn't look that serious initially, but you can see now
grimacing as he comes to this near touchline, and the two Luton physios are now helping him back down the tunnel, and they haven't got the change ready yet, Luton, and Nathan Jones again is barking out instructions. So as we get play back underway with 11 minutes to half time, Huddersfield temporarily have a man advantage. There will be a change soon enough, and Luton are going to bring on Robert Snodgrass. Vast experience he's going to bring, of course, when he comes on in a moment. But meantime, Huddersfield with possession just inside their own half. Levi Colwill plays the ball out to the left-hand side, and of course Snoddy, once of Leeds United. Got long memories, football fans, haven't they? Like elephants.
But they have no favours at all, will they, Huddersfield fans?
Jonathan Russell plays the ball out to Pippa, and gets it back after playing a 1-2 with Sinani down this near side of the Huddersfield right, gets to the byline. He's got 2 Luton players with him, tries to win a corner, does win a corner. That's very good play from Pippa, and here comes that change. So Snodgrass coming on for Pelly Rudder-Campanthu. Okay, there's your pantomime villain for the evening, no matter what he does.
Yeah.
Of course, you never got booed, did you, Cherry?
Never. Never are called names.
Corner kick then to Huddersfield, their third of the half, and it'll be Sinani with a left-footed in-swinger into the near post and headed straight back towards him by Adebayo. So can he tease a second ball back in? Sinani goes to the far post this time and headed over the top by Levi Colwill, coming forward from the back. So it's a goal kick to Luton Town, less than 10 to the break. On TalkSport 2 it's 0-0.
Yeah, a little bit predictable that time with a set piece when it comes back out to him. Tsunami looking for, maybe could have took a touch, crossed it in from a different angle, but almost the same angle where he's taking the corner from. Well defended in the end by Luton.
TalkSport breakfast back in the morning from 6 a.m. Natalie Sawyer is hosting tomorrow along with Ali McCoist, and it's Darren, by the way, Darren Bent. They're going to be the threesome guiding you through all the talking points tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. on TalkSport breakfast with Natalie Sawyer, Ali McCoist and Darren Bent. Here's Harry Cornick trying a drive from distance for Luton, and it's spilled by the keeper Nichols, but he was bailed out by Tom Lees. Harry Cornick just fancy to go from 30 yards.
Absolutely.
0-0.
It's just dropped for him, hasn't it? It's decent first touch. He just drops. He has a snapshot. Keeper parries it away. Tom Lee's great reaction.
Well, here's Cornick again down the left-hand side by the corner flag. Plays the ball into the near post. It's volleyed away only as far as Bell. Bell down the left-hand side of the box. He plays a cross in. Half volley cleared by O'Brien. It'll drop just by the centre circle, and Bradley and Naismith combine. It's lobbed forward by Naismith, but Adebayo knows he can't go for it, coming back from an offside position. But then O'Brien with a header that's easily picked up by Snodgrass, just onto the field. Plays the ball in field to Lansbury. So Lansbury and Snodgrass, think of all the league experience they've got, brought to bear for Luton for the rest of this game. O'Brien being hassled and harried by Campbell, who shoves him over. Free kick for Huddersfield Town. Sorry, forgive me chuckling, but that was a clear shove by Alan Campbell. Even you chuckled, Jerry Taggart.
It was a wrestling challenge, wasn't it?
Almost.
From Campbell.
37 minutes gone. It's 0-0 on TalkSport 2.
He's just one of those players, O'Brien. He's got such quick feet, no centre of gravity, and you're trying your best to get them, you just can't. And in the end, you just think, I'm just going to shove him over.
Pippa showed too much of that to Amari Bell. Nathan Jones was almost offering himself as a ball for Amari Bell off the pitch, the way he was jigging down this near touchline as Bell ran past him. In fact, a free kick's been given for a foul on Bell, so Luton have a chance to work the ball into the box. They've got their first shot on target tonight with that cornic effort there, Luton Town.
Decent effort as well, make the keeper work. Again, Adebayo could he be a little bit sharper? Tom Lees was.
Snodgrass has been told to move the ball back, so he moved it back about an inch and was preparing to take it, and only now is he rolling it back the 3 yards that Jeff Eltringham's told it to. It's proper gamesmanship.
That is pantomime villain stuff.
In it comes then from Snodgrass, whips it to the edge of the area, headed out. It's Onyedinma trying to help it back into the Huddersfield box, but it's cleared away by the Terriers, but nobody in blue and white on halfway, and so James Bree has plenty of time to guide the ball back to his goalkeeper James Shea. 38.5 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. It's 0-0 between these two playoff protagonists, Huddersfield Town and Luton Town. A winner goes third in the table tonight. The losers will stay in the top 6, but it will just make the likes of Sheffield United and Blackburn breathe that little bit easier if there is a loser tonight that can be therefore overhauled over Easter. Easter's always crucial, isn't it, Jerry? It's always a deal breaker, isn't it, for one club or two?
Yeah, and it used to be the old double header on a Saturday and a Monday as well.
A Saturday and a Monday?
Yeah.
Well, Friday and a Monday for the Championship players for the most part. And we'll be with Huddersfield again when they play their next game against QPR. Saturday, tea time here at the John Smith Stadium as part of those 4 back-to-back I think I'm right in saying that. Championship commentaries on Good Friday. 0-0. Huddersfield have possession down this near side there right with Daniel Sinani. Pippa takes over. Works the ball back to Jonathan Hogg. Back in the side tonight. An important cog is Hogg. Out it goes to the left-hand side, and Toffolo. Thomas, who had a blistering opening few minutes but has been a little bit quieter since the opening exchanges. But that's maybe not his fault, Jerry Taggart. The ball's just not come his way that often.
They've been poor in possession, sloppy at times, haven't they, Huddersfield? They've had opportunities.
Colwell wins a free kick from Henry Lansbury. Kind of went over his hip as he tried to jink away from the former Villa and Forest man. And so Huddersfield Town have a free kick, not quite at the midway point of the Luton half, and it's to the left of centre. But again, Sorba Thomas is going to spot the ball down and look to swing a right-footed curler into the box and try and cause Luton some problems here.
It's all about the second ball for me again, Dance,
Bradley's winning most of the first balls from these deliveries. Let's see what he can do from this. In it comes from Thomas. Over the head of Bradley, and Sinani was sliding in at the far post and wanted a foul. Nothing doing. In fact, it was it Levi Colwell coming in? It was, in fact, at that far post. But he just couldn't get a touch, and he felt he was being manhandled as he tried to move in for that. But just a little tug on the shoulder from Cornick, but nothing major, you would say, Jerry Taggart?
There's a hand on his shoulder, but is it enough to pull him over? I don't think he's getting there.
Jerry Taggart, member of the Centre Halves Union, on TalkSport 2, part of our commentary team.
There's not many of us. There's not many that agree with me when it comes to centre half. But yeah, I don't think there was enough in that for a penalty, to be honest.
0-0 then, with less than 4 minutes of this first half remaining in terms of normal time, but there'll be a chunk of added time for the injury stoppages we've had in this first period. Back it goes to James Shea at the edge of his 6-yard box. Clips the ball up to halfway. Adebayo's got all the time in the world to bring the ball down on his chest and just flick it right. That's very neatly done by Elijah Adebayo. Bree gets into the game and moves into the Huddersfield half. Onyedinma comes back from an offside position, and again Nathan Jones wants retribution. Everyone needs to stay within about 6 yards away from him, because he's likely to strike you.
It is so frustrating though. You know, you just seen Adebayo with a lovely piece of skill. Luton on the front foot, travelling down that right hand side, and then a silly offside decision, you know, just thwarts any momentum you have with that move.
Huddersfield have got the free kick, and they've sent it back to Lee Nichols, who'll drive it right footed down the centre of the field, but Danny Warder comes short, and the ball just sailed over his head and bounced through to James Shea at the other end. 0-0.
Yeah, just a little bit of miscommunication between the pair of them. Danny Ward, you know, he's done it 4 or 5 times this evening where he wants to come short and just drop the ball off first time, and then he's on his bike.
Shea clears from hands, looking for Adebayo. Won't drop for him, nor Campbell, but Lansbury looks to help it down the inside right channel. Dealt with very neatly by Levi Colwill. And he lofts it down the left-hand side, asking Sorba Thomas to give chase, forcing James Bree to put it out for a Huddersfield throw on the far side of the field, almost level with the Luton penalty area.
Yeah, he's a willing runner, isn't he? And he's like an outball for Huddersfield at the minute.
Throw from Toffolo, looking to get O'Brien away, but that's well intercepted by Onyedinma, and he drives it up to Cornick, still inside his own half, lays it off for Lansbury, and Lansbury hits a first-time ball down the right channel, asking Adebayo to give chase, and he'll get there as well, down by the corner flag, on that far side of the field. Orange shirts trying to get forward in support. Adebayo just jinking, trying to get away from Jonathan Hogg. Checking onto his right and left, rolls it back in the end to Onyedinma, and it goes infield to Lansbury, midway point of the half. Little square ball infield for Snodgrass. Snodgrass looks up and spots Naismith moving forward on the inside left channel for Luton. Now it's Bell, gives it back to Naismith. First time swirling cross into the box. Keeper stays at home, drifts away from a couple of players, picked up by Onyedinma down the right-hand side. Can he get a cross into the box? There's 4 Luton players waiting for a cross. He's back with Snodgrass. Diagonal ball along the deck into the area, cleared away comfortably by Colwill. And then it looked like a push on Lansbury by Ward, and that's a free kick to Luton Town. 0-0 in the last minute of the first half.
Yeah, just a little bit clumsy from Ward, wasn't it? As that ball comes out to him, he just miscontrols it, and then he's scrambling to try and rectify the mistake. But Lansbury does well, gets his body in front, shields the ball, and Danny Ward has to take Lansbury down, concedes a free kick. But good play from Luton again. You know, great run from Adebayo down that right-hand side to keep the ball in play. And again, that gets Luton up the pitch, causing Huddersfield a few problems.
Well, they've got a central free kick here, Luton. It's, 3 or 4 yards, maybe 5 yards ahead of the centre circle. So they can go right and left with this delivery. Lansbury is standing over it. So too is Naismith. Bell stood just to their left if they play it short. Adebayo is pushed out to the right-hand side, but Lansbury goes to the left, looking for Sonny Bradley. Heads it across the face of goal. It drops just outside the area, right-hand side for James Bree. As we go into 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time. I'll be honest, I was expecting more than 2 minutes, but that's all there is that Jeff Eltringham has added on, and a throw into Huddersfield after Luton couldn't keep the ball in play on the far side. I think there's a few catcalls for that lack of added time there.
And Pansy must have been down for at least 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
By the time he come off.
Throw into Huddersfield then that Harry Toffolo will take. Approaching half-time then on TalkSport 2 in this game between 4th and 5th in the Championship. Sonny Bradley just elects to put the ball out of play with Sorba Thomas breathing down his neck down the left-hand side. So a chance for Huddersfield to build just before the end of the half with a throw-in 10 yards inside Luton territory. Toffolo has the ball in his hands. He's got Russell, who's come short to collect. He's got a bit of space, Russell, to decide what to do. Gives it back to Toffolo, and he's worked it back to Colwill, and then Hogg on halfway. Hogg, as he so often does, just splitting the 2 centre-halves and getting the ball back from Tom Lees on the halfway line. Drives a diagonal ball looking for Thomas. Heads go up for offside. It's not going to be given, but that's good defending by Onyedinma, and he's protected the ball behind for a goal kick under severe pressure from Sorba Thomas. That's good defending from Onyedinma, who's really more of a winger than a wing-back.
It's great defending. It's a decent first touch as well from Sorba Thomas, from a fantastic diagonal ball from Jonathan Hogg. But the thing he does well, he just cuts across Sorba Thomas, gets his body in the way, and he stands strong, hoping and praying the ball goes out for a goal kick, and eventually it does. Well done.
Which will be taken by Shea away to our right-hand side, deep into first half stoppage time on TalkSport 2. Adebayo is penalised for a foul, so Huddersfield will have a late free kick just inside their own half. But in fact, Jeff Eltringham says no time for that, and the half-time whistle has gone, and it is a stalemate so far at the John Smiths in West Yorkshire. A lot of tension around, with so much at stake for these two unfancied sides for promotion at the start of the season, but they're in the mix. Luton probably shaded the better of the chances. Daniel Sinani with a smart turn and shot, well saved by James Shea, and then a deflected shot from a cleared set piece that could have beaten James Shea as he was lying on the deck, but the deflections were kind for the Luton keeper. At the other end, Harry Cornick with a snapshot that forced Lee Nichols into a plunging save to his right. But we await the deadlock to be broken in West Yorkshire. Full second half commentary to come. But the score at the break, Huddersfield Town 0, Luton Town 0. The look he's given me just now suggests otherwise. We are back in West Yorkshire, and Huddersfield Town have just emerged from the tunnel down beneath me to our right. No signs of any changes from either Carlos Corberan or Nathan Jones. Luton, you know, were relegated from the old First Division 30 years ago, just before the Premier League rebrand. They were one of those unlucky sides that didn't benefit, Jerry, from when everything changed in 1992. They were a National League side by the 2009-10 season, and they didn't get back to the EFL for 5 years after that. And now they find themselves in the Championship top six, as close as they have ever been to a return to the top flight. The days of Ricky Hill, Mark Steen, Brian Horton and manager David Pleat, when they won trophies and bloodied more than a few noses. And Luton will get us back underway at the start of this second half. They're attacking the Magic Rock Brewing stand away to our right hand side. That's where the Luton fans are situated. In fact, that stand is split between home and away fans. There's a gap of seats in between the two as James Bree gets down the right hand side early doors for Luton, and wins a throw right by the corner flag for the visitors. So they're kicking from left to right as we look, as Jerry and I are sat midway back in this west stand, the core stand here at the John Smiths. The fantastic media stand away to our left, that's the end that Huddersfield would be attacking in their blue and white shirts, white shorts and black socks. Luton in their first choice colours of the orange and dark blue. Bree with another swinging cross into the area, volleyed up and out by Daniel Sinani. Oh, it might drop for Cornick, right hand side of the box, across the face of goal. It's only half cleared. Campbell can't control the header down. Cornick again, a swing and a miss from the right hand side of the area, but he'll still retain possession. Bree teases a lovely ball. Campbell misses the header, and I think it was Adebayo at the far post that couldn't apply a finish either. Early chance inside a minute of the first half, and Luton Town forced it 0-0.
Oh, crying out to be headed home that cross from Bree. That was his third attempt, I think, as well, Bree. Well, the other two attempts, not beating the first man, but this one, lovely in-swinging ball, back post, and it's Adebayo right at the far post, just misses the flight of that, dives desperately, but nowhere near it in the end. Great ball from Bree, though.
Into the corridor of uncertainty,
absolutely,
as they say, because Lee Nichols, the Huddersfield keeper, stayed at home. In front of Nichols, the back four of Pippa, Lees, Colwill and Toffolo. And Sorba Thomas breaks forward for Huddersfield Town. Left hand side, gets to the edge of the area, tried to play it across, but it was blocked behind for a corner by Naismith. Early corner at the start of the second half. Lansbury is down on halfway, flat on his face. Maybe he was caught in that build-up. But with 2 minutes gone, we've already had a chance for Luton, and now Huddersfield have a corner away to our left, 0-0.
Yeah, a lovely bit of improvisation here. Thomas down the right, and he goes for the outside of the right foot cross from the left-hand corner of the 18-yard box. He's got three Luton defenders round him, no real options from that sort of angle. Tries to manufacture something, in the end gets a corner.
Well, Lansbury still face down, planted in the turf on the halfway line. Must have been caught in the face as that move built up. gives me a chance just to go through the lineups again. So I'll start with Huddersfield again. Nichols in goal, Pippa, Lees, Colwell and Toffolo in the back four, Russell, Hogg and O'Brien in the midfield three, Thomas, Ward and Sinani up front. For Luton Town, they had to make a change in the first half with Pelly, Ruddock and Panzu limping off with what looked like a foot injury. Shea is their goalkeeper, Bree, Bradley and Naismith three centre-halves, Onyedinma and Bell are the wing-backs. Excuse me. Campbell, Lansbury and Snodgrass now at the midfield three. Robert Snodgrass coming on for Mpanzu. Cornick and Adebayo are the strikers. It's only now that Henry Lansbury is just getting to his feet. I think he might have been caught on the nose or something like that, but he's just getting a bit of water from the physio. But for this corner, basically it means Jerry Taggart that Luton are going to be a man light again because he's got to go off before the corner's taken. Absolutely.
Again, not ideal. I'm not sure what position he takes up Lansbury, but to have everyone back by the looks of it.
Yeah, everybody in Luton Orange is back, either inside the penalty area or you've got Snodgrass just watching for the short corner that Thomas and Sinani might have cooked up here. It's where the core stand meets the fantastic media stand, just down to our left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed delivery from Sorba Thomas. Lansbury's ready to come back on as and when. But referee Jeff Eltringham blows his whistle. 3 minutes gone in the second half. In fact, 4 minutes gone now in the second half. We've got at least 2 minutes for that delay. Here's Thomas's corner, headed away at the near post by Adebayo. Straight back to Thomas. Lansbury's back on. Thomas whips the ball back into the box. It's headed out by Bradley this time. O'Brien tries to send it back into the Luton area, but again, the Hatters managed to get some distance on the clearance. And then an offside flag goes up against the Huddersfield player, and Luton get themselves a free kick. 0-0. 4.5 minutes gone, and but for that injury to Lansbury, that was a lively old start to the second half, Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, very lively. You can probably assume what the managers were saying at half-time to both sides. You know, we need to raise the tempo of this game. It's a little bit too static, a little bit too mundane.
Good hold-up play again from Elijah Adebayo, but Luton have to work the ball back into their own half in the end to keep possession. He's again the target as the ball sent downfield. Did he get a nudge in the back from Toffolo? No, says the referee, but Adebayo can help the ball on a second time anyway. Won't break for Cornick, but it will break for Campbell, who finds Fred Onyedinma on this near touchline, the Luton right, hugging this near touchline, manages to skip the ball in field, but he can't find a teammate, and it's dealt with at the back by Levi Colwell, and then equally well done on this near side by Danny Ward, back helping his defenders. Lovely drop of the shoulder from Lewis O'Brien, who tries to take the ball around James Bree, who was cute and wise to it, and the ball went out of play for a Huddersfield throw, bang on halfway, and Harry Toffolo almost caught by a flailing arm of his manager Carlos Corberan, who's gesticulating for the instruction. Nearly got one full in the mush there, Harry Toffolo.
He poked his eye out.
0-0, 5 minutes gone in the second half on TalkSport 2.
It's got a better feel to it, hasn't it, already?
Yeah.
Say the second half.
Thomas plays an early ball round the corner, looking to get Ward away through the middle, but Sonny Bradley gets there first and elects to go back to his goalkeeper Shea, and he hits a long ball out to the left-hand side, but he won't find Amari Bell. It's a good strong header down by Tom Lees, but Luton win it back. Snodgrass came on as a first half substitute, finds Bree on this near side, plays a lovely ball to get Adebayo in behind Colwell into the area, but Colwell sticks to his task well, and then Toffolo guides the ball back in the nick of time to his keeper Nichols, but that was lovely strength from Elijah Adebayo, but equally good recovery from Levi Colwell for Huddersfield.
Yeah, absolutely, helped by Toffolo. Again, great recovery run from him just to clear up the pieces and get it back to Nichols, but Adebayo, that's better from him, showing that strength, showing that pace, holding Caldwell off, and almost getting Luton into a goal-scoring opportunity.
That's Jerry Taggart, you can hear alongside me, Ian Dancer here at the John Smith Stadium. We played just over 6 minutes of the second half, 0-0 between Huddersfield and Luton. Adebayo again for Luton, goes up for a header, drops on this near side for Alan Campbell, who wins a throw off Toffolo. He wanted to take it quickly, but he's too close to the corner flag for the referee's liking, but Harry Cornick looks like he fancies a long throw. Oh, he's just sent it down the right hand side with a short throw for Onyedinma, plays the ball into the near post, claims for handball against Colwell. Actually the claims were mostly from the Luton fans behind the goal away to our right, and the referee said nah, play on, 0-0.
Yeah, just fell asleep there, didn't they, Huddersfield, from that throw, and hadn't given there loads of time and space, probably should have done better, in all fairness, with a ball into the box. But you see what Luton are doing. They're going a little bit more direct. They're getting the ball forward a lot quicker, and they're picking the second balls up and causing a few problems for Huddersfield.
Nichols plays the ball forward to Jonathan Hogg, but there's a high press from Luton trying to win the ball back high up the pitch. It's back with Nichols, the keeper once again, bedecked all in yellow this evening, the Huddersfield keeper, as the rain starts to lash down once again in West Yorkshire. His ball up to halfway, doesn't quite find Sorba Thomas, but it's a loose clearance from James Bree, and Bell can't keep it in play for Luton on the far side, so it's a throw to Huddersfield. 0-0. Early stages of the second half, if you're just joining us on EFL Championship Live here on TalkSport 2. Ball's back with Lee Nichols. We had a cloudburst in the first half, and what we're seeing now more than matches that. And again, it's coming straight down because there's barely a breath of wind here in West Yorkshire tonight. It's going to make that surface extra greasy, extra slippery, and extra chance of mistakes from either side, Jerry Taggart.
Absolutely. We just need one team to get a bit of momentum and then put on a bit of pressure, and that's where you see mistakes being made, especially later on in this game.
Back it goes to Levi Colwell, left-hand corner of his own penalty area, is faced up by Cornick, plays the ball round him, finds Thomas, who controls it well, can scamper down this near touchline, looking to release Lewis O'Brien further down the Huddersfield left. Bradley's gone with him. Did he foul him? He did, says referee Jeff Eltringham. So Huddersfield have a free kick that's almost like a corner down to our left-hand side of the fantastic media stand-in. Chance to work the ball into the box. 0-0.
Yeah, look, they're the two brightest sparks Huddersfield have at the moment. It is O'Brien and Thomas. Again, working it well down that left-hand side. Good turn of pace from O'Brien. They get to the ball for Bradley, and Bradley just a little bit overzealous there, giving away a cheap free kick,
which Thomas inevitably is going to take. It's a yard in from this near touchline and only about 4 or 5 yards from the corner flag, probably level with the 6-yard box in fairness, and a chance for Thomas again to whip this in. O'Brien's there in case he wants a different delivery, but Thomas is clearly the man. Just a one-man wall, Campbell standing in front of him at the edge of the area. Thomas whips it in, it's headed down at the edge of the area, might drop for Sinani, and the drive is deflected over by a Luton body for a corner kick, but that was fiercely struck by Daniel Sinani, and he's now going across to the far side to take the resulting corner. 0-0.
Yeah, it's an absolute rocket, isn't it, from Sinani? And in the end, it's a great, I think it's Naismith. He puts his head. Oh no, he just turns his back, hits him on the back. I thought he put his head right up where it matters.
What are all like you? Corner kick that Sinani's going to take on the far side. Right-footed, left-footed rather, in-swinger from Sinani. Clutch of Huddersfield players now break. Towards the near post it goes, and it's headed out by Lansbury, and out to play for a throw. Again out on that far side in front of that Chadwick Lawrence stand. Huddersfield want to get on with it, but I think Lansbury's down again. He got an injury, was it? It may well have been his neck that he was injured with first just a few minutes ago, and he's gone down again inside his own penalty area, and that will displease all the locals.
Well, he's actually off the pitch, so it's a great header, it's a brave header to get it clear, and he's sort of skidded off the pitch, hasn't he? And then he's rolled back onto the pitch to go down, and that's what Huddersfield fans are. Yeah,
that would annoy, because the momentum of him sliding in took him off the pitch and into the advertising banners, and then he just rolled back on. But this could be quite a serious neck injury, because again he's face planted down in the turf. The St John's ambulance are bringing the stretcher around to deal with him, and in fact Nathan Jones has already sorted out a substitution here, and Dan Potts, wearing the number 3, son of Steve Potts, former West Ham legend, he's going to be introduced here, as I'm assuming Lansbury has headed his last ball for the evening. We hope that's not too serious an injury. He's been turned onto his back now, Lansbury.
You can't take any chances, can you?
No. Well, it's not a concussion injury as such, but there might be. I remember Dion Dublin in a game for Villa against Sheffield Wednesday at Villa Park some years ago. Just collapsing. He had a very serious neck injury that came from absolutely nowhere, and thankfully it was dealt with at the time, and he was, within a couple of weeks, he was okay. So Lansbury is off and Potts is on, so that's a defender for a midfielder. Jerry Taggart will need to keep an eye on what they do. I can only assume that they might push Naismith into midfield, and Potts will go at the back with Bree and with Bradley. Naismith looks like he has pushed into a midfield position, which is just as natural position for him. Meanwhile, Lansbury's being led very, very slowly behind the goal away to our left at the fantastic media stand end. So we're approaching the hour mark. And it's still 0-0, and Huddersfield will restart play with the throw, right-hand side. Russell trying to lob the keeper. Oh, what a goal! What a goal from Jonathan Russell! He's lobbed the keeper from just inside the box. The ball thrown in for the right-hand side, and Jonathan Russell just tried his luck. Lobbed it over the keeper, Shea, who probably realised too late what was happening. By the time he backpedalled, it was in the back of the net, and Huddersfield take a precious lead. They've only scored one goal in their last 3 games, but this consolidates their spot in the top 6. Luton are behind, and it's a lovely finish from Jonathan Russell to make it Huddersfield 1, Luton 0.
Well, the degree of difficulty he had to pull off for that to go in the back of it is quite remarkable. But you've got to question Luton defending that throw, and there's a big gap between the throw-in line, the byline, and the edge of the box, and Russell goes towards the ball and then just reverses a run into the box. He receives it, lets it bounce up. No one within 5 or 6 yards of him when he has that shot. As you say, the keeper, I don't think the keeper's expecting him to try and pull that off, and he's too late to react to it, and by the time he reacts, the ball's already in the back of the net. But a quite sublime bit of skill from Russell, you have to say.
Jonathan Russell, just 21 years of age. It's his second championship goal of the season. His first was the winner here late on against Cardiff City. He was a Chelsea Academy graduate, Jonathan Russell. Never made the grade at Stamford Bridge. Had a loan at Accrington Stanley last year in Sky Bet League 1. Brought here on a free transfer by Carlos Corberan. And he's holding his own at this level, and he's just scored an exquisite lob over James Shea. And on the hour, Huddersfield lead on TalkSport 2, and Luton have got work to do in this driving rain in West Yorkshire, having just had to make that second substitution. Maybe it was a question of who was meant to be picking up who. Snodgrass, as Luton try and respond, finds James Bree inside right channel, get towards the edge of the area, tries to go on the outside of Toffolo. Onyedinma's there to assist, who rolls it back to Naismith. Naismith, midway point of the half, clips the ball into the box. Adebayo looks to head it goalwards, but it skims off the top of his head and goes behind harmlessly from the Huddersfield point of view for a Terriers goal kick. It's 1-0 to Huddersfield, and we played an hour on TalkSport 2. Here's Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, it's a decent opportunity. I just think he misreads the flight of the ball here, Adebayo. It's a good ball in from Naismith. Lovely little flight, in swinging left-footed curling ball.
What, you mean he jumps too soon or jumps too late? Or?
Yeah, just jumps a little bit too soon. It just hits the top of his head, which sort of tells you he's jumped too soon. But his run's fantastic. He just pays off to the back post beyond the last defender for Huddersfield. You're expecting them to do better there.
1-0 to the Terriers, and they're in possession down this near side, the left, with Lewis O'Brien. Hits the ball against Campbell. Different atmosphere now inside the John Smith Stadium.
I still think Nathan Jones won't be happy with the marking from Russell's goal. The gap on the edge of the box, I mean...
Well, it'll come down to who was detailed to pick him up.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether the Lansbury substitution and Potts coming on affected that at all, in the fact that they switched off and didn't know who was meant to be with who.
Might well have done, because Naismith went and took out that position, sort of, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was in between. It's a good point.
Well, whatever, it's 1-0 to Huddersfield Town, and Luton are trying to force the issue to get an equaliser, and they've sent Onyedinma scampering down this near touchline. Can he keep the ball in play? He can. Pulls a lovely cross in. It's only half cleared. Cornick can't get to the loose ball. It's a hurry clearance from Toffolo out to the left-hand side, but Onyedinma got the afterburners on and nearly found a teammate with a cross. 1-0 Huddersfield.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Campbell, one touch of control, second touch round the corner at him. The first time, ball into the box. Jonathan Hogg, near post. Thank you very much. Clearing up the danger again.
Now, it's with Amari Bell down the left-hand side for Luton. Rolls the ball infield to Naismith. Naismith squares it to the centre of the half for Robert Snodgrass. Snodgrass looking for Amari Bell down the left-hand side of the box. That was brilliantly intercepted by Pippa. Hooked away, but it's going to drift out of play for another Luton throw. And Carlos Corberan and his assistants are telling that back four of Huddersfield to push out beyond the 18-yard line. They lead by a goal to nil.
The natural thing to do now, Dan, is to sit back and defend that one goal, and that's exactly what Corberan doesn't want his team to do.
It wasn't just him making that internationally recognised gesture of get out. It was his two assistants as well, who were making the point just as strongly. Offside flag goes up against Danny Ward. There's a Huddersfield player down in the centre circle. It's Lewis O'Brien, who's just landed on his hip slightly awkwardly as he went up for an aerial challenge, but he's back up very awkwardly. It's like me when I get out of bed in the morning. 1-0 to Huddersfield. Here's Luton Town trying to respond with James Bree. Well, he was looking for Onyedinma again down the right hand side, but that pass was way overhit. So it's going to be a goal kick.
You needed a gale force headwind to stop that ball from going out.
And there is not a breath of wind here tonight, is there?
And the surface is slippery and wet.
Well, I bet Carlos Corberan's quite the mover on the dance floor, because he's got some very slick moves when he's making his coaching directives to his players. Moves like Jagger. Huddersfield moving forward, but Thomas won't get to the ball, sent back by Bree to his keeper Shea, and the Luton keeper will clear up to the halfway line. Toffolo heads it back into Luton territory, but it's guided down by Sonny Bradley, looking to release Cornick down the inside right channel. Cornick knew he couldn't win the header, and he allowed Colwell to win it and flick it out of play for a throw to Luton. 1-0 Huddersfield.
Yeah, it's not bad from Colwell, to be fair. Just clear the danger, reset.
Naismith finds Bree for Luton. We've only got one substitution left, remember, following the enforced changes that have seen Mpantu and Lansbury go off. Snodgrass is on, and so too is Potts. Adebayo tried to head the ball down at the edge of the area to find Cornick. It's only half cleared by Huddersfield. Comes out to the Luton right and Bree. Onyedinma. Got Toffolo for company and Sinani as well. Goes infield to Campbell. Former Motherwell man shovels it back to Naismith. Naismith clips the ball into the box looking for Cornick, but it's over his head and out of play. But Cornick puts the thumb up, appreciating the intention of Cal Naismith. But it is a goal kick to Huddersfield. 25 minutes to go on TalkSport 2, and Huddersfield are 1 up. Here's Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, both managers, as you said, both very, very frantic on the touchline now. You can feel it in the crowd, you can feel it in the stadium. Both managers say starting to feel the pressure.
Proper jack in the boxes, the pair of them. Back it goes to the Luton back line, and Potts out to the left hand side looking for Bell, although he's got Sorba Thomas, who's now on the right hand side. He's switched with Sinani, so Thomas now on the Huddersfield right of their front three, with Sinani on the left and Ward still through the middle. 1-0 to Huddersfield if you're just tuning into EFL Championship Live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Ian Danter and Jerry Taggart with you on a wet night in West Yorkshire, but it's a winning night for Huddersfield Town so far to try and consolidate their top 6 position. And if not knock Luton out of the top 6, they can't do that, but they can certainly make the Hatters' position that much more precarious. And the ball will break for Sorba Thomas just over halfway, trying to lob it forward, looking for Lewis O'Brien, but O'Brien knew he was coming back from an offside position, so Luton have it back.
You just need to calm it down there. Just take a touch, calm yourself, make the right decision.
Bree will lay it off for Cal Naismith, who wants some options. Plenty of shirts forward for Luton in this attack. Adebayo with his back to goal 30 yards out, trying to twist and turn, but Russell, the goal scorer, helped out by Hogg, got the better of him, and now Danny Ward is chasing after the ball over halfway, but back comes Bree to tidy up neatly for Luton Town. Stays 1-0 to Huddersfield, a quarter of the game to go on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL.
It's a little bit better from Thomas. Played the right pass, just slightly overplayed. Great cover in the game from Bree.
Now Bell for Luton, down the left-hand side for Harry Cornick. Plays it in field for Snodgrass. Bree is showing on this near side of the left, midway point of the half. Finds Onyedinma, faced up by Toffolo. Onyedinma hugging this near touchline. Good challenge, Toffolo. Puts it out of play for a throw. Stopped Onyedinma getting beyond him as he'd done before.
Yeah, well, he's allowed him to get control of the ball, get turned and get at him, but that's a proper challenge. Can't beat it.
Snodgrass again gets a few boos from those that remember his time just up the M1 and the M621 at Leeds United. Now the ball is with Naismith for Luton Town, who trail by a goal to nil, looking for Bree on the overlap. He goes to ground, so too does Sinani, and he's given a penalty. Luton Town have been given a penalty. Sinani and Bree collided just inside the area, and Jeff Eltringham has pointed to the spot, and as a neutral on my first viewing, that looks soft as anything, Jerry Taggart.
There is contact, I have to say, watching it on the replay. There is contact. He gets round the back of him, to be fair to him, Bree, but just watching again, is it deliberate? Is it enough?
Is it enough for him to go down?
Exactly.
I can see there's an attempt to pull on the shirt, but is it enough for James Bree to go down? That's the question. Well, we are in a VAR free zone, so the decision is the decision, and Elijah Adebayo now has the chance to bring Luton Town level from the penalty spot. Referee Nichols, goalkeeper Nichols is asking the referee whether the ball's been placed correctly on the spot.
Semantics.
Moves back slowly to his goal line. A few Huddersfield fans shining their phone lights, only about 10 of them, trying to put Adebayo off. Chance for an equaliser in this massive game at the top of the Championship. Adebayo right-footed, puts it wide! Nichols didn't even have to make the save. A miss from Elijah Adebayo, and now there's a pushing and shoving match going on in the penalty area. Cal Naismith at the centre of it all. Lewis O'Brien went down, and now Jeffrey Eltringham's got to sort out a melee at the edge of the Huddersfield penalty area after Adebayo missed the penalty. Stays 1-0 Huddersfield.
Oh, big moment in the game, obviously. The talk before the game about staying calm under pressure. Pressurised moment for Adebayo. You've got to say that's a poor penalty. What happens after that, I have no idea.
A yellow card for Kai Naismith for his part in the pushing and shoving, and also a yellow card for Fred Onyedinma. So 2 Luton players have been booked. Going to see if any Huddersfield players are going to be booked as well. And Jeff Eltringham wants a word with, is it Dan Potts or Sorba Thomas? He's walking over to the centre circle where 2 players are, and I think it's Sorba Thomas that's been yellow carded. So no sendings off, but at the end of it all, it was down to whether Elijah Adebayo could bring Luton level from the spot, but he's rolled it wide, Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, you can see the look on his face as well. It's a poor penalty. You know, and a big moment in the game, you have to say. And we're just seeing it in the replay. Oh, keeper dives the right way, to be fair, but he doesn't hit the target. And I think it's Naismith reacts.
It's a proper shoving match.
Yeah.
Quite a few were involved, but in the end, referee Eltringham books Naismith and Onyedinma for Luton Town and Thomas for Huddersfield. And after all that, 19 minutes to go, it's still 1-0 to Huddersfield on TalkSport 2.
Still 1-0, and the pressure has just been ramped up another notch.
Now Russell is caught by Sonny Bradley on halfway, and it's getting a bit tetchy, and now both benches are getting involved. Carlos Corberán and his lieutenants are all up. Not too dissimilar to the way Nuno Espirito Santo and his Wolves bench used to like to get involved en masse. Nathan Jones is outnumbered here. Well, even Mick Harford's not getting involved.
Mick's too old now, hopefully, because they're all going down if Mick gets involved, I can tell you.
Free kick to Huddersfield. Just over halfway, 18 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Plenty of live football to come. Tomorrow night we've got Champions League and League One football across our network. Real Madrid Chelsea on TalkSport. Portsmouth against promotion chasing Rotherham on League One on TalkSport 2. Now there's a push on Danny Ward from Sonny Bradley, who must be close to a yellow card himself. That's 2 fouls that the Luton captain's put in the last 30 seconds. It's all getting a bit feisty.
The referee needs to get a grip. I thought the referee, did the right thing. Didn't send anybody off. Give out a couple of yellow cards. Probably in the situation that both teams find the right thing to do. But the minute, like you say, it's getting a bit tasty. Referee needs to get a grip.
Well, in the end, it's a Huddersfield Town free kick on this near side the left as they attack the fantastic media stand. And it's Sorba Thomas who's going to take it. Luton's trying to hold their line at the edge of the penalty area. It's about 35 yards from the dead ball line, this free kick on the Huddersfield left. Thomas sends it swirling in with the right foot, but a good claim by James Shea. Good goalkeeping from the man with the gloves for Luton Town. And he thinks about bowling out, and indeed he does to Sonny Bradley. 17 to go on TalkSport 2. 1-0 Huddersfield Town in this crucial game in the Championship, and we'll be with Luton on Good Friday as well when they play Nottingham Forest at home. That will kick off our Good Friday Championship coverage. 4 live games back-to-back to Luton Town Forest, then Bournemouth Middlesbrough. I'll be at that game, which is a 3 o'clock kick-off on Good Friday. We're back here at tea time for Huddersfield against QPR, and then Derby County against Fulham rounds off our Good Friday entertainment from noon until 10 p.m. on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. No other radio station can or will provide that service for you on Good Friday. Luton at 1-0 down, bringing the ball forward with Onyedinma. Dimmer fires a crossing for the right-hand side, and Jonathan Hogg has to put the ball behind under pressure from Cornick, and Luton have a corner away to our right. 1-0 Huddersfield.
Yeah, it's better from Cornick. As that ball goes down the right-hand side, the other didn't it? First time ball in, and Cornick gets across that near post, forces the corner for Luton.
Which Snodgrass will take, as you might have been able to deduce from the boos that rang around the Huddersfield fans in that corner, where the West Stand meets the away end. So right in front of those Luton fans, Snodgrass prepares, but he's got to wait because there's a bit more pushing and shoving, not quite as fierce as it was just after the penalty miss. But Jeff Eltringham just telling Cornick and Sorba Thomas to watch themselves. Here comes the corner kick as the assistant moves away to allow Snodgrass to address the ball. Whips it in left-footed. Punched clear by Lee Nichols, looking like Superman. Headed back into the box by Bree, and it will drop very neatly for Nichols just to plunge on top of the ball. A quarter of an hour to go on TalkSport 2. Dwayne Holmes is going to be on shortly for Huddersfield, the American midfielder, once of Derby County, but before he can be introduced, Huddersfield are trying to attack down their right-hand side, but a poor ball in field from Thomas is comfortably intercepted by Luton Town. And it's with Snodgrass and now Naismith under a bit of pressure from Ward. Plays it to this near side, and Bree, he's got Ward and Sinani closing him down, but they're just knocking the ball around quite calmly. Luton at the back. Now Sonny Bradley gets his head up as he approaches the centre circle near to the halfway line, but he's forced to go back to his keeper, and again Nathan Jones is scampering up a time. Get it downfield. Wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of Nathan Jones. Long ball downfield eventually is sent, but it's way beyond it, and Bradley's getting a rollicking from his manager, and he holds his arms out saying, well, what could I do? Meanwhile, Daniel Sinani's making way for Dwayne Holmes, so that's a midfielder for an attacker. Maybe that's a sign of what Carlos Corberán thinks the game situation is, Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, well, Huddersfield just guilty of being on the back foot, sitting back and trying to soak the pressure up. Probably one of the reasons why the penalty came about, in all honesty. So he thought, you know what, I need fresh legs to try and get Luton turn and get us up the pitch.
A lovely skill from Sorba Thomas on halfway. Flick the ball over the head of Potts. Sends it out to the right-hand side for O'Brien. Gets to the right-hand corner of the box. Sends it back to Russell, the goal scorer. Urged to shoot once again, but he lost control of the ball, and Luton have it back and will try and bring it clear. Lovely ball from Bree up to Campbell. On halfway, was he being fouled by Hogg? No, he wasn't. Just toe poked the ball straight out of play, and a throw-in's been given to Huddersfield in their left-back position.
Brilliant from Hogg again. Just reads the situation, doesn't panic, stands up, forces Campbell into the mistake.
As I mentioned, player of the year last year, been here since 2013.
It's been excellent. I mean, his positioning in critical moments has been absolutely excellent.
Long ball thrown in by Toffolo, but Bradley will just hook the ball back to his goalkeeper, Shea, standing inside the D. Just over 12 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield hold this one goal advantage, given to them by Jonathan Russell in the second half with a delicate lob over James Shea after Luton slightly went to sleep at a simple throw-in routine down the Huddersfield right. And since then, if you've just tuned in, Elijah Adebayo has missed a penalty. Not saved, missed. Put it wide of the post, away to our right-hand side, after Bree was adjudged to have been fouled inside the penalty box. 12 to go, 1-0 Huddersfield, and they have a throw to the Terriers in their left-back position on this near side as they attack the end to our left. But Cal Naismith wins the ball back. We've got a little kick there from Dwayne Holmes, who's just been introduced to the action. And Holmes is playing in the position that Sinani had before he went off, so he has joined the front three effectively. Now long ball downfield from Luton looking for Adebayo, but it's headed clear by Lees. Drops at the edge of the centre circle. Russell heads it down for Ward, but Luton win it back. It's Cal Naismith driving forward, looking for Adebayo. Left-hand side of the area, angles tight, he won't be able to get a shot away. Down towards the dead ball line. Now he works the ball in field. Back for Snodgrass, who lifts a poor left-footed shot over the bar. Didn't really believe in himself as he struck that shot, and it was too much loft on the club. It's over the bar for a Huddersfield goal kick. We've got 11 to go on TalkSport 2. Still 1-0 Huddersfield. Yeah,
great work from Adebayo. Good strength to just keep Pepper off the ball. And he does well, he just lays it back to the edge of the box. But as you say, no real commitment to that shot. He just leans back, Snodgrass, and it just drifts over the bar.
Time running out then for Luton to try and restore parity here. Huddersfield have had that brilliant unbeaten run in the Championship, but then it all started to drift away from them a little bit in March, but they are still in position A, and they're going third in the table as things stand with this 1-0 scoreline. Here is Pippo, who's been very lively at right back for the Terriers tonight. It's now sent across from right to left and picked up by the other fullback Toffolo. Rolls the ball in field for the ever-willing Jonathan Hogg. Russell back out to Holmes on the right-hand side. Pippa's there too. And Holmes has now switched with Thomas, so Thomas is back on the left of the Huddersfield attack. Danny Hilton's going to be on shortly for Luton's final change to try and give them a bit more creative flair going forward. But Huddersfield still have possession. O'Brien dispossessed by Campbell. He stayed down, he wanted a foul, did Lewis O'Brien, and then Campbell tried to slide in Cornick down the right hand side, saw his pass easily picked off. Now a foul on Toffolo by Campbell, who I think just a bit of retribution for getting the pass wrong has given away a free kick, and Huddersfield will have it. But before they take it, Danny Hilton's going to be introduced here by Nathan Jones for Luton Town's final change, and he's going to come on for Harry Cornick.
Substitutes for Luton Town,
Nathan Jones
leaving the field
and his assistant down there.
His replacement 9, Danny Hilton.
Well, they keep themselves fit on that touchline, don't they?
They'll need to go on a drip after this.
They are non-stop. And the fourth official's getting it in the ear from the Welsh manager as well. Meanwhile, I think Naby Sal's going to be introduced by Huddersfield to shore things up at the back for these last, 9 minutes or so. And here is Sorba Thomas getting to the box, left-hand side, drives it across the face of goal, and it goes out for a throw on this near side. He just couldn't wrap his foot around it enough from a very tight angle. 1-0 Huddersfield.
Yes, a tight angle down that left-hand side. I think it was Bradley and Ward go for the ball. It's heading towards the byline. He just picks it up, tried to wrap his right foot from down that left-hand side, and it's a shank.
Throwing routine from Luton goes horribly wrong, and you can hear the ironic cheers from the Chadwick Lawrence stand opposite us where it all happened, because Huddersfield have just been gifted a throw of their own. Naby Sarr, who's seen his pitch time limited, the former Charlton man, because of the form of Levi Colwell, for example, Jerry at the back. But he's a very useful man to bring on when you're trying to keep things tight at the back with 8 minutes to go. He'll be on in a minute, will Naby Sarr. Just getting some final instructions from Carlos Corberan's team. He's gone behind for a goal kick. Here comes the change. I'm presuming an attacking player is going to make way to allow Sarr to come on. And it's Danny Ward, who hasn't scored tonight, the top scorer. In fact, he's not really had a chance worthy of the name, has he, Jerry Taggart?
Not really, but he's worked hard. You know, he's caused a few problems. He's a good man to have on your side. You know, he's a constant nuisance for defenders. Maybe not feeling 100% still.
Maybe not. So Naby Sarr coming on. And it's like Nathan Jones and Carlos Corberan. We're watching the game, talking about an old record player, we're watching it in 33 in the third. They're on 78 RPM. It's extraordinary that the finger pointing and the gesticulate. I don't understand half of it. I hope the players do. But Corberan and Jones are fully invested in this game. It's fair to say. 7 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield holding on to this 1-goal lead and going third in the championship as things stand. But here's Onyedinma for Luton Town, faced up by Toffolo. Infield it goes to Naismith, looking to release Onyedinma down the right hand side. He can't find him, but it's an awkwardly hooked clearance out of play by O'Brien, and a throw into Luton Town. Carl Naismith will take the throw into the chest of Campbell, gives it back to Naismith. Bree showing down this near touchline, rides the challenge of Hogg, gets the ball back in field for Campbell. Campbell into the area. Danny Hilton, his first touch to square it across the face of goal, and a vital interception from Naby Sarr. Goes out of play for a throw down by the corner flag on this right hand side. 1-0 Huddersfield.
Big moment. Hilton does really well to get on the that loose ball. Just pivots, swivels, first time ball in the box, and the big man's there to clear the danger.
Naismith receives the throw, will lift the ball into the box, looking at Hilton. Sarr heads it away from danger, but it's going to go out of play for a corner kick on the far side. Is it? Indeed it is. So they're asking questions here, are Luton Town, and there's still 5.5 minutes plus added time to go. 1-0 Huddersfield.
Yeah, well, the keeper's come for it, but as you say, Sarr, he decides, no, I can't leave this one, and he just flicks it on. That could have... just flicks it. He doesn't get a good header on it. Flicks it on away for the corner. They ended up in the back of the net.
Beats his keeper to it there, Naby Sarr. So Bree with this latest corner, and pretty much everybody's inside the 6-yard box waiting for this right-footed in-swinging delivery, although Snodgrass is unmarked inside the D in case it could be rolled back to him. He's actually asking the referee to get out of the way in case the ball comes his way. Bree actually elects to loft it deep to the far post, looking for Bradley. He can't get the head to it. It's cleared away by Huddersfield, but Snodgrass retrieves, gives it back to Bell, who's the last man on halfway. Just jinks past Dwayne Holmes. Amari Bell drifting into the centre of the half. Comes in, feels going to go for goal, Bell, and it's gone wide. He hits it very firmly, but it went a good couple of yards wide of Lee Nichols' right-hand post. Goal kick Huddersfield, who still lead 1-0.
Yeah, he had a couple of options there, Bell. Turned them all down, decided to go along. Neat footwork. Nice change of pace, nice change of direction, but in the end the shot is, you've got to say, good 5 yards wide.
Well, possession stats are pretty close. I've just had a quick look. 46% for Huddersfield, who lead by 1-0. So Luton's 54, obviously.
As I said, they've just sort of dropped back a little bit, Huddersfield, the second half after taking that lead.
But they are in front through Jonathan Russell's lobbed effort just before the hour. One or two fans start to drift away, thinking the job is done. They'll be back here presumably on Saturday tea time, so will we, when Huddersfield welcome really out of form Queen's Park Rangers to the John Smith Stadium here in West Yorkshire. But Luton still have time to do something about this, and Huddersfield could also extend their lead. Thomas is offside. I think that's a tight call. He got away as the ball was hooked downfield by Hogg. The flag, in fairness to the assistant on that far side, went up very quickly, but that looked very tight. 10 yards inside the Luton Town half. 1-0 Terriers.
Yeah, just offside.
He is.
And
now a foul. Onyedinma has collided with Lewis O'Brien. Got to be careful, Onyedinma. He's on a yellow card, but referee just says it's a free kick and nothing more. Into the last 3 minutes of normal time on TalkSport 2. EFL Championship live at the John Smith Stadium. In this crucial game in the top 6 of the Championship, and Huddersfield are holding sway by a slender 1-0 lead as Toffolo sends the free kick down the left-hand side. Thomas will keep it in play at the dead ball line. He's got support on this near side from Lewis O'Brien. Thomas wins a corner off Onyedinma, knew exactly what he was doing there, waited for the two Luton players to get within 2 yards of him and then just whacked the ball against Onyedinma, and Huddersfield have a corner away to our left, 1-0.
Yeah, three Luton defenders around him, no real options for him there. So, but Thomas, as you say, does exactly the right thing. You know what? I'll take a corner.
It will be Sorba Thomas to take the corner. Dwayne Holmes is there for a short corner. Now all the Huddersfield players are at the far side of the penalty box behind the 6-yard area. Now they're making a run towards the near post as it comes in from Thomas, and Sarr has headed it in! The substitute makes it 2-0 to Huddersfield. Surely that seals 3 precious points, and the corner kick routine works a treat for Carlos Corberan and co. Naby Sarr at the far post to nab a second for Huddersfield, and surely all 3 points. Huddersfield 2, Luton 0.
Yeah, well, straight off the training ground, this one, Dance, as you said, everybody at the very back of the 6-yard box, up the side of where the corner's been taken. The 3 or 4 players make a run towards the near post, but Sarr just hangs high. No one picks him up, and he's left on his own at the back post just to knock that one in. Simple as you like. Thank you very much. Keeper tries his best to get his left hand onto it, but he can't keep the ball out like that. Lovely little training ground move there from Huddersfield.
Naby Sarr seals it, it would appear, for Huddersfield Town as we move into the last minute. The French centre-half who joined a couple of years ago from Charlton Athletic. And Luton are surely beaten unless something extraordinary happens in the remaining time we have left on TalkSport 2 in West Yorkshire. Ball's clipped forward to the edge of the area looking for Campbell, but it's cleared away by Colwell. And now a break for Sorba Thomas for Huddersfield. Gets to the edge of the area. Holmes to his right. Thomas goes for goal, and it's saved by Shea. And Holmes is irate with his teammate because he feels he should have been slid in. Should have been 3-0, Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was Holmes, first of all, counter-attack football, first time to find Thomas, and Thomas just slows it down. Holmes makes the run, and he just hesitates, has to play that ball a little bit early for it to get into Holmes' feet. He doesn't, takes a shot on, simple for the keeper.
Onyedinma's fouled by Harry Toffolo, and we're just moving into added time. 7 minutes have been added on by Jeff Eltringham. We're into that now on TalkSport 2. Jordan Rhodes is about to come on for Huddersfield's final change. You can hear what the locals think about 7 added minutes. There are only 2 added minutes in the first half, and I know there's been a few substitutions, but he's found 5 extra in the second than he did in the first. Luton have a free kick sent to the edge of the area, nodded away by Tom Lees out to the far side, and Bradley will let it drift out of play for a throw to the Hatters. Amari Bell's going to take it, try and get a long throw into the box, and now the Huddersfield fans around us are on their feet trying to see their team home with a 2-goal advantage. Bell down the left hand side gives it to Snodgrass, puts the ball in the box, headed up and out by Naby Sarr, who's just scored the second, and he puts it out of play for a throw. He can doubt with the first header, make sure with the second.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's come on, he's made 2 massive defensive interceptions there, as well as getting himself on the score sheet.
Snodgrass to put another diagonal ball into the Huddersfield box, headed away by Sarr again. The ball's attracted to him like a magnet at the moment. But Luton win it back once more. Centre of the Huddersfield half is Snodgrass. Out to Bell on the left-hand side. Pippa jockeying him for position. He comes inside Amari Bell. He's going to go for goal, is he? Checks onto his left. Oh, and lashes a shot way over the bar. Rush of blood to the head from Amari Bell.
Well, he creates the space on his right foot. He cuts inside. Pippa, time and space to pull the trigger with his right foot. He doesn't. He checks back onto his left. And by that stage, it's just too many players in and around him. He's never going to score from there.
So Huddersfield have a goal kick, and we've played 2 minutes of the minimum 7 that are being added on here on TalkSport 2 at the John Smiths. Maybe if you're a Huddersfield fan or a Luton fan, want to react to the action over on TalkSport at 10 o'clock. Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy will be taking your calls on the Sports Bar. 03717 223344. Here on TalkSport 2, Faye Carruthers with the Women's Football Weekly. Of course, some very important FA Cup semi-finals coming up in the women's game this weekend. They'll be previewed amongst many other things. And Jordan Rhodes is coming on here at the John Smiths for Sorba Thomas, who's putting another tireless shift for Huddersfield. And Jordan Rhodes is brought on to replace him as Lee Nichols looks for him with a goal kick. Doesn't even reach halfway. And Luton have a throw. 2.5 gone of the minimum 7 minutes being added on. Huddersfield 2-0 up and heading for all 3 points on TalkSport 2. Bree finds Carl Naismith, who thought about a first-time ball to launch forward. Now he clips the ball diagonally forward. It's flicked on down the left-hand side of the area. Hilton gives chase. It's put behind by Pippa. It'll be a corner kick to Luton Town, away to our right-hand side with 3 minutes of added time gone. 2-0 Huddersfield.
Well, they're chucking the kitchen sink at it here, Luton. They've put Bradley up front. Now for these last closing minutes, he's won the flick on and forced the corner.
So Hilton's gone across to that far side to take the corner. Massive players in and around the box. In fact, it's Bree to send it in, and the keeper Nichols claims well at his near post. I don't think there was a Luton player in front of him, and now he just bowls it over. I'm looking to release Dwayne Holmes inside the Luton half, but back there too was Amari Bell to tidy up. Shea thumps it downfield. Guess where it lands? Yep, on the head of Naby Sarr, who heads it clear once more. Rhodes making a nuisance of himself on halfway. Manages to nick the ball back to Harry Toffolo. Toffolo looking to release Lewis O'Brien, who was trying to play off the shoulder of Fred Onyedinma. But Onyedinma gets the ball back to the keeper. O'Brien was offside anyway, and Luton have a free kick, and Nathan Jones imploring his team to get on with it. 4 minutes of stoppage time gone. Whilst Jones is imploring his team to get on with it, Corbrandt's imploring his team to shut up shop. Again, Sarr wins a header from a long ball downfield.
Quality.
Now, Dwayne Holmes out to the right-hand side. Runs into 3 Luton shirts. Bell wins it back. Campbell has to lay it off to Potts. And now Bree, as the saying goes, it's got to go big from Luton Town, and it does. Looking for Adebayo, but headed away and out of play for a throw. Or was that a free kick?
Yeah.
Or is he given a free kick? He's given a free kick the other way to Huddersfield Town.
I didn't say that.
For a push by Snodgrass, I think. Well, you can hear around us the belief starting to course through the veins of the Huddersfield faithful. The job is nearly done. And they'll take their time over this free kick they've been awarded. Only now has Lee Nichols gone to retrieve the loose ball.
Naby Sarr, he's been immense, hasn't he, since he's come on? He's won everything in the art. He's scored a goal.
Well, Nichols will now take this free kick downfield, looking for Rhodes on the far side, headed away by Dan Potts. Rhodes again heads it into the area. Holmes gets a lovely volley goalwards, but the flag had gone up for offside. Super sweet hit from the American from the sort of area where Jonathan Russell gave Huddersfield the lead.
Yeah, lovely time strike from Holmes, unfortunately just offside.
Ball downfield. It's getting more and more desperate for Luton Town. We're heading to the last minute of minimum stoppage time on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield 2-0, and they have another free kick as Onyedinma shoves Rhodes to the ground, and the frustration and the body language amongst the Luton players and their manager all too evident right now.
Yeah, he does well there, Rhodes. Make sure he gets to that drop ball first. As you said, and then can't help himself, has to take Rhodes down.
A free kick that Levon Colwell will take to shy the halfway line, floating it downfield, looking for Jordan Rhodes, who takes it on his chest, runs out to this near touchline, protecting the ball, and works the ball magically to Colwell on halfway. First on ball again, trying to release O'Brien over the top, but it's dealt with by Bree. And the full-time whistle goes. Huddersfield Town go third in the championship. They beat one of their playoff rivals, Luton Town, here by 2-0. Jonathan Russell with the opening goal right on the hour. A superb lob over the Luton keeper James Shea after Luton went to sleep from a simple Huddersfield throw from their right-hand side, and Russell profited. And then late on, Naby Sarr, on as a substitute, sealed the points for the Terriers with a free-header at the far post from a corner routine. Luton lost their men, and Sarr duly obliged to get the second goal. Luton had their chances, notably at 1-0 when they were awarded a penalty, a foul on James Bree. Jeff Eltringham pointed to the spot, but Elijah Adebayo rolled his penalty wide of the post. Big night for Huddersfield. Luton are not out of it, they're still in the top 6, but that will give the teams directly below them that little bit of hope that the Hatters can be caught. But for the Terriers, that's more like it. Back-to-back wins for Carlos Corberán and co. Full time at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Town 2, Luton Town 0.